You can hand 10 guitarists the same exact guitar, the same exact amp, and the same exact settings, and somehow they will all sound different. Tone isn't just gear, guys. It's an identity. It's a personality. It's the way a musician touches the instrument, the way they hear the world, and the way they express themselves. Today, we're breaking down the art of guitar tones, how players craft it, how they shape it, how they chase it, and sometimes accidentally stumble into it, all without needing to play a single note. So welcome, guys. Welcome to Amplifier Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music, the riffs, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or you're just hungry for knowledge, Empire is your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Empire Sessions. I am your host, Dustin. Thank you for joining us today. We're diving into one of the most iconic elements of modern music, the guitar tone. And this is lucky episode number 13. So, let's dive right into it, guys. I'm excited about this one. So, tone is more than knobs and pedals. It's a language. It's a fingerprint. It's an emotional voice of the guitarist, if you will. And whether you're a musician, a producer, someone who just loves the sounds of a great guitar, understanding tone gives you a deeper appreciation for the music you love. So, let's get into it, shall we? Tone starts in the hands, right? Before we talk gear, we need to talk technique, because tone begins long before the signals hit a cable. First thing we need to talk on technique is one, picking attack, okay? How do you strike a guitar? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it angled? Is it flat? The way a guitarist strikes the strings shapes the entire sound. And I think that is so key, guys, so key, because it actually does create uniqueness to where one guitarist could play one different chord and the other could play a different, and boom. Now you have two different sounds, but they're playing the same way. Okay? The second thing we need to look at, guys, is vibrato. It's wide, narrow, fast, slow. Vibrato is emotional handwriting. Third thing, dynamics. Great players don't play at one volume. They whisper, they shout, and they breathe, just like a good vocalist would. Same with the guitarist. Fourth thing we need, technique-wise, is timing, is feel. Ahead of the beat, behind the beat, or you dead center along with the song. Timing is tone. Number 5, finger pressure and touch. Even the way guitarists fret a note changes harmonic content. It really does. Let me tell you the truth, okay? So 2 players, they can use the same rig, so in other words, same guitar, same amp, same whatever it is, and sound nothing alike because the tone is physical. It's in the hands. It's in the touch. It's in the feel. So, now that we have technique is the first way a guitarist does tone, right? The way guitar tones are shaped, we're going to go into the second reasoning, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the guitar itself, the first voice, okay? So the guitar is the first filter in the tone chain, right? So here's key things and constructions and things that are within a guitar, okay? So first one is wood in construction. Not in a mystical way that you would think, but in a Renaissance type of way, to sustain and feel a certain way, depending on the type of wood that is used and how the guitar is actually constructed, can alter the tone of what you're playing. 2 is pickups. Okay, I went into this in the first episode a little bit on, the first episode on how musicians find their sound, right? 2 is pickups. We went into that a little bit. Single coils, you get more bright, articulate. Snappy humbuckers, you get more thick, warm. Powerful P90s, you get gritty, raw, mid-forward sounds. The third thing in a guitar tone is scale length. So the longer a scale, the tighter the feel, brighter the tone. The shorter the scale, looser the tone feels, but the more warmth that it generates. Okay. Fourth is the bridge type. Okay. You have fixed bridges, which sustain differently than tremolos. Tremolos and movement and character. Okay. Fifth is the strings. Okay. What type of gauge are the strings? What material is the strings made out of? How is the tension on the strings? All part of equation. Okay. You're probably asking yourself, Dustin, it's like you just literally broke down a guitar in pieces and told me about it. Yes. So I'm trying to get you to understand why this matters exactly. Okay. So the guitar shapes the raw voice before anything else touches it. The world already knows what that guitar tone is going to sound like without even a musician even playing it yet, just by the construction of it. It's a beautiful thing, right? So moving to the next thing. So the amp, that is your next key piece of gear when you're talking guitar. So the amp is the heart of the tone, right? So if the guitar is the voice, you could say the amp is kind of like the personality of the duo, right? We kind of, again, backtracking a little bit, my first ever episode, I went into depth on like different amps, different coils or pickups. First is tube amps. They have a warm, dynamic, and responsive sound. They react to touch like a living thing, and literally it doesn't take much of a bump into a string to make it go off. Solid state amps, they're clean, they're consistent, they're reliable, and they're great for clarity and precision. You have more your digital modelers. You have versatile, flexible, modern tones. They let players explore endless sonic landscapes. Fourth is gaining structure. Preamp gain versus power amp saturation are two completely different flavors of distortion. They sound differently. The fifth is EQ shaping. Bass equals weighted mids. Presence treble equals more of a bite sound. So the main question, again, kind of like we do with guitars, why does an amp matter? They don't just amplify guitars, in my opinion. They sculpt the sound. So the sound that the guitar is already built with, now the amplifier takes it to a different level. It takes that simplistic sound that a guitar already has and it generates it. It makes it bigger, wider. So we'll move on to pedals. You have guitars, you have amps. The third piece of gear that is very needed are pedals. So pedals are where tone becomes art. Okay. One, they create overdrive and distortion. Okay. From subtle grit to a full on amount of chaos, a simple switch on a pedal can make it happen. Two, modulation, chorus, flanger, phaser, movement. It causes movement and textures. The third different type of pedal, you have a delay and reverb. They create space, depth, atmosphere. Fourth is compression, smooth dynamics, add sustain, and they shape how you feel. The fifth one is EQ and boost, fine-tuning the voice, okay? They literally dive deep in on a sound and single it out, so to speak. So again, why does a pedal matter? So they allow guitarists to paint with sound, to create moods, textures, and emotional landscapes. I don't know if you've ever been to a show where a guitarist does have like multiple different pedals. Like I know Ed Sheeran is really good at this, but he's able to make his guitars sound completely different. Just based on one tap of the foot, he can make his guitar sound really electronic, like you're at an EDM show. Or the next pedal he steps on, he can make you think like you're in the country. It's a really cool tool to have. So the signal chain, and why does it matter? So tone isn't just about what pedals you use. It's about the order you use them in. So common principles, gain pedals early equal more of a natural breakup tone. Modulation before distortion, you get more subtle movement. Modulation after distortion, get a more dramatic effect from the tone. Delay before distortion, get smeared echoes within the sound. Delay after distortion, get clean repeats. Why does this matter? Signal chain is storytelling. It determines how effects interact with the next. Okay. So, a good guitarist, if they do use a bunch of pedals on stage, they know exactly when and what points of the song they have to hit certain spots on. Otherwise, it's just not going to sound the same, guys. But that is also the beauty of being a musician. Sometimes you do make those mistakes and it turns into happy accidents. The environment that you're in can also really know how to tone a guitar. It can judge and dictate how that guitarist is going to sound. So, the environment, your rooms, your mics, your space. Tone doesn't end at an amplifier, it ends in the air. Many people don't break this down to a science, and that's why in a future episode, I'm going to be doing like a breakdown of venues. People don't know this, but certain venues sound so much better than others. That's why certain artists love playing at different venues, just because that's their feel. That's their sound. It's how it's supposed to be. Compared to they go to a random venue and it just doesn't sound the same. There's nothing wrong with that because you got to do it for the fans. But I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, if I ever sat down and interviewed artists, that would be one of the questions I would state. Like, what is your favorite venue? Because I guarantee that artist has felt something at that place more than any other place they have been at. So, going back on track, first thing you got to think of is room acoustics, right? So, a smaller room means you have more of a tight tone and it's more controlled, right? Larger rooms are more open, they're more ambient. Okay. The second is mic placement. You have on axis versus off axis, close, distant, single mics, multiple mic setups. Okay. This is why your sound guys are so important to the industry because they can actually dictate how you are going to sound that night. The third part is a recording chain. Preamps, compressors, EQ all shape the final sound. Okay. Now you're probably stating, why does this matter? But people don't understand the science behind acoustics. Okay. That's why you go to these venues and people just plaster speakers all over the place. To me, those are the ones that didn't actually do the due diligence of knowing how to set up a soundstage, is because they didn't do their homework, so to speak. Like if it was me and I was setting up for a band at a certain venue, I'd try to study the acoustics. Maybe go and watch a few videos on how, maybe other bands in the same genre or something of that nature set up their sound equipment. To me, the reason why this matters is the environment is the final filter. Okay? It adds character to the tone. It adds character that you can't dial in with a knob. Okay? The seventh ingredient to this whole mixture, big old cauldron of soup that we're building here, okay? The emotional side of the tone, okay? We don't go into depth on why that guitarist maybe likes the song a little more because maybe the guitarist is the one who wrote it. They have an emotional connection to that, so they play it just a little bit better and you can really feel it coming from them. Tone isn't just technical, guys. It's emotional. Players choose tones that feel like them. You could have aggressive, smooth, dark, bright, chaotic, clean, or atmospheric. Tone is literally an identity. It is the emotional voice of the guitarist. And guys, the real secret, a guitarist's tone evolves as they evolve. I always say a good musician always branches out to their comfort zone, right? They have to change their sound after a while because whether it's age or something of that nature, they're recreating their own identity. They have to find a different tone. So they evolve, right? A guitarist does the same thing as a vocalist does. They have to switch it up. Okay. I love breaking this down because guitar, besides when I was in school playing a recorder, guitar is literally by choice the first ever instrument I ever picked up in this world. That's why I own 2 of them. About to be more. I can't wait to pick up a bass. I can't wait to pick up an acoustic eventually. And then eventually go to drums and so on and so forth. But this is why it's so special to me, because guitar is my journey. It is my tone. It is my emotion. It's what I go through. But yes, guitar tones are a journey. It's a blend of technique, gear, environment, and emotion, all beautifully composed into one. It's not about copying someone else's settings. In case I haven't gotten that to a point now, you can literally take 10 guitarists and stack them up, line them up, all playing the same song on the same gear. And I guarantee you majority of them, if not any of them, are going to sound similar. Because of that, you're not copying someone's settings. It's about discovering the sound that feels like you. And at the end of the day, I hope everyone discovers the sound that feels like them. But thank you. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the art of guitar tones and what makes them, what composes them. Glad I could bring a little science to the background of music and the things that make us whole at the end of the day. But yes, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like. Please give it a share, a subscribe, and give me comments, guys. I appreciate them all. Yeah. If you did enjoy this series for January, I encourage you, maybe Backstage Pass is something that you're interested in, okay? Go to www.empiresessions.com, click on the Backstage Pass link. You will get full-length video episodes, exclusive interviews. When I start interviewing, I will post full interview sessions. Could be your favorite artist. If this thing blows up and I start getting some major artists, especially ones you like, that's where it's going to be. Also, on the Backstage Pass, you get exclusive member-only discounts. You also get live links. If you guys want to tune in when I'm lively recording these, I will provide live links on the membership page. So 100%, go ahead and take a look at that at my website. It's a Backstage Pass. Appreciate you guys signing up for the ones who do. If you don't, it's not a big deal. Even if you can help me out by liking, sharing, subscribing, I appreciate it all. But 100%, you guys have been listening to Empire Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here, guys. Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep the fire alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay bold, never fade into the noise. This was Empire Sessions.